Question number 2 of December 2022 Fundamental of Management Accounting. At ERINS, outline 4 assumptions of cost volume profit analysis, or CVP, or sometimes we call it break-even point. The assumptions: number 1, we have fixed cost. Fixed cost do not change in total with relevant cost. In total with relevant cost. Number 2, we can also check that variable costs are constant per unit. Variable costs are constant per unit. Number 3, selling price per unit is constant and does not change. Selling price per unit is constant and does not or doesn't change. And then lastly, all units produced are sold, as it assumes that all units produced are sold and there's no closing inventory, and there is no closing inventory. All units that are produced are sold and there is no closing inventory. Those are 4 assumptions of CVP, or of cost volume profit analysis. Part B, highlight 4 factors influencing wage rate determinations. Factors influencing wage rate determinations. Number 1, we can talk of organizations' ability to pay. Organizations' ability to pay. To pay can be a factor that influence how much they are going to pay the employees. Number 2, supply and demand for labor. Supply and demand for labor. We have the areas that we don't have. We have the scarcity of labor, or we have the scarcity of supply of manpower. In that case, the prevailing wage rate might be different. Number 3, we can talk of prevailing market rate. Prevailing market rate. Market rate set by who? By the government. The government can put a minimum pay rate. Like in the Kenyan government, they announced a minimum pay rate on 1st of May 2023 for those low income earners. We also have trade union pressure on companies. We have trade unions pressure on the companies to raise their wage, and salary level. Also, we can also add here, as the cost of living can be a factor. The cost of living can be a contributing factor, and inflation. Cost of living and inflations can be a factor that influence the salaries or wage determinations. Then part C, we are told that Dr. Enterprise manufactures dolly kits for jail trains. It is currently considering various techniques overhead absorption that are more efficient to apply to the job costing. We have cost center, up B and Q. We have direct material cost 800,000, 600,000 for Q. Direct labor, it is 600 and 500 respectively. Factory overhead also given as 600,000 for P, 400 for Q. Direct labor hours, we have 40, 50,000 respectively. Machine hours, we have 120 and 7,500 for Q. Then we are told, calculate the overhead absorption rate on the following basis. Percentage of direct material cost basis for cost center B. Now we shall say that overhead absorption rate is equal to budgeted overhead over budgeted activity level. In this case, we are talking of the overhead absorption based of percentage of direct material cost. Therefore, we are going to say the budgeted overhead for material B, it is 800,000 over activity. We are portioning or absorbing the material on the machine hours. We have 120. When you do that, half overhead absorption rate is going to be 800. We divide by 120. We have 6.6767. Then we multiply by 100. We should be there. We are being told that this percentage 666.7%. Percentage direct material. Then part B from and to the direct labor hours basis for cost center. Now in that case, the direct material for Q, we have the budgeted overhead. We are using this, and then activity level, we are going to use the labor hours, where we have the 500,000. We are dividing by 50,000. Overhead absorption rate for direct labor, we are going to have 500,000. We divide by 50,000, which is 10. Then Roman 3, we are told that a particular job market as a job number JB22 consumes the following inputs during the year. Half cost center B and Q, we have material issued. We have 5,000 in that order, 15,000. Direct labor cost, we have that one. Direct labor hours, we have been given. Then machine hours, we also been given. Then we are told that administration overheads are absorbed at the rate of 20% of the factory cost, and profit markup is at 3 at that of on the cost. We are going to determine that. Calculate the total cost and the total sales for job number JP22. Therefore, we need to prepare what we call a cost statement. We can have JP22 cost statement. This we are going to have P and then Q at that point. Now here we start with the material issued. Material issued is 5,000. Then we have 15,000. Direct labor cost, it is 48. Then here we are having 4,000. If we add, we can get what we call the prime cost. prime cost. Here I guess you get 9,800, and then here we should be getting 19,000 respectively. Then we have overhead absorption rate. Overhead absorption rate. We have direct labor. Direct labor. We are going to take direct labor. We are going to take 48,000 as the budgeted overhead. We divide by activity level, which is 4. Then, sorry, not that way. Okay, in this case, we are going to take the budgeted, the cost. Of course, we are taking 5,000, but we head up there. Labor cost, we take 60,000. We have 600,000 as the budgeted overhead. We are dividing by 40. This is the 40 I'm using as the budgeted activity level. 6,000 divided by 40,000. We have 15. Now at this point, we take 4,000. We multiply by 15. That is the overhead absorption rate. Multiply by 400. We have 6,000. The same applies to this side. Direct labor absorbed. Direct labor absorbed, we had already gotten, that is 10. In this case, we are just taking 5,500 multiplied by 10. You should be getting 5,000. Then we have number 2, machine hours. We have machine hours. Machine hours or machine or material. Whereby we also we had gotten 6.what? We had 6.67. We are multiplying by 1,500, which is 6.67 multiplied by 1,500. We have 10.05. And then that side we can compute it. Overhead absorption rate. We have that is 6,000. We are dividing by 75. 7,500 to get 80. Overhead absorption rate. In this case, we are going to have 80. We multiply by 100. 100 as overhead absorption rate. You get 8,000. Then here we have the total of factory cost. Factory cost, which is that is 9,800 plus 6,000 plus 10,005 of 25,805. Then that aside we have 19 plus 5,000 plus 8,000. We have 32,000. 32,000. Okay. Then we are told that administration overhead are absorbed at 20% of the factory cost. At this point, we can now introduce administration overhead. Administration overhead, we are told that is 20%, which is 0.2. In that case, we can have 0.2 multiplied by 32. We can get at this point is 10. 0.2 multiplied by 32. Have 6,4. And then we have 0.2. We have 25,805. We have 51,61 plus 25,805. In this case, the total cost is 30,966. Then that site is 32. We are adding 64. We have 38,400 as the total cost. We are told that calculate the total cost and the sales for job number that. Then how many did we sell? Sorry, we have the profit of 33. Let me continue increasing this particular space just a little bit. And then we have the profit, or the profit markup is 33. 33 a third percent. Now we can compute that. 0.333. We are multiplying by 3966. We have the profit markup is 1032 0.97. Okay, 0.333 multiplied by 38,400. At this point, you have 12,787.2. Then we have sales. Sales value, we add that with the plus 38,400. You get is 51,187.2. Then 3966 plus 10,320.97. You have 41,286.97. That is the sales value of this particular job. Job by just a minute. Job JB22. Then Roman 3. Roman 3 are told, Roman 4. Assuming the job number JB consists of 50 items, calculate the selling price per unit. Therefore, selling price per unit. We are going to say for P, we have a 41,286.97. We divide by 50. Then for Q, we are having 51,187.2. We divide by 50. What you get is here we are dividing by 50. We have 825.74 shillings. Let me put it at Kenya shillings. And then for this Q, it will be 51,187.2. We divide by 50. We have 1023.74 cents. We do that. You scoop the entire 20 marks for question number 2. As simple as that.